this school on Monday the 5th of September 2022. And it was all just like, year 14 is going to be terrible today. Because in English it was, you have to write a 2,500 word essay, or that's, according to Google, 9.1 pages. Write a 9.1 page essay. Okay, to be fair, it says no more than 2,500 words, which means that, it's not the bare minimum. It's actually the maximum, but still. That long of an essay comparing The Road to The Handmaid's Tale, which is the two books that we're doing this year. Apparently The Road is decent enough, except for the fact that it's written by Cormac McCarthy, who he doesn't use punctuation a lot. Like, if you see a comma, it's your lucky day. Excuse my stomach. Sorry, I went blank again, but I said easy enough read, apparently. I don't know why I sound sick. I'm not. Actually, I shouldn't be recording this right now. I'm doing driving in about half an hour. That was the worst driving segment ever. Jesus Christ, I am the worst driver in the world. And I know that is an exaggeration, and I know how hypocritical that is, considering what has happened recently with people exaggerating. But I don't care anymore. I was hitting everything except for walls and other cars. Curbs, gravel. If you can think of it, as long as it's not a wall or another car, I hit it. And the only thing it's different from today than all the other days, that I was wearing my glasses, and even then, normally when I wear my glasses, it's like, if like the study room is, like, if you're looking at it from like bird's eye view, it's a rectangle. But when I'm wearing my glasses, it's more like, hold on. That's the way that study normally is. I get that my drawing isn't perfect because I'm using it with a thumb on a phone. But you get the point. It's a perfectly rectangular room. But when I'm wearing my glasses, it's more like that. Like, that's really the only way I can describe it. So I knew that I have to be wearing my glasses, because wearing my glasses, I can't read license plates from whatever the distance you're supposed to read license plates from. But I didn't do it for months, because, I mean, even though my description is terrible, it should be obvious that that isn't good when you're driving. But I did it anyway today because I knew that I had to, like, legally. And it looked fine to me when I was driving, but maybe those mistakes are that I was only perceiving it as looking fine when really it wasn't looking fine. Maybe that's why I was, like, I don't know. I guess, like, me hitting the curb when I was going home was a miscalculation of distance, and maybe because of my glasses, that miscalculated it. I don't know. But I mean, if I need my glasses to read a license plate from that distance, whatever the distance is, but I can't wear my glasses because I'm going to inevitably crash, doesn't that mean that legally I can't drive? Which means that the probably close to £1,000 that my mum spent on driving lessons has gone straight out the window. And on top of that, my theory, which I think costs another £30, and however much my mum paid for insurance, all out the window. Back to the school segment. Obviously, I don't know where I was. So I'm just gonna. English was, and I'm pretty sure they'd say this, 2,500 word essay on the road, and sorry, I have really bad acid reflux right now. The road and Handmaid's Tale. The road we're going to be studying in class, and that seems to be what the entirety of English with the female head year is going to be like this year. But I mean, last year was supposed to be exactly the same, but with Scarlet Letter instead of, so. As for Handmaid's Tale, we have to read that ourselves, which it has its pros and cons, but right now the biggest problem is buying it, because as far as I know, they don't actually have any copies of the book, which means that I really don't have a choice but to buy a second-hand copy off eBay, because I'm not going to be able to find a first-hand copy anywhere. Like, really the only place where I can buy first-hand books is Tesco's, and all they have is new books. And considering, well, new books and books that have recently had adaptations, but considering that the book came out 37 years ago and the show first aired 5 years ago, I'm not going to be able to find it in Tesco. So buy it off eBay, which he's probably going to take. Well, I mean, bought a book last week and it still hasn't here yet. But then once it actually comes, and this is going to make me sound really bad to the teachers, but the problem would be fitting it into, I don't want to say a schedule because I don't have one, but I'm just going to say it for lack of a better word, because currently I'm reading another book that I've borrowed off the library, and what I was planning on doing is that instead of immediately returning it to the library and getting another book, I'm going to wait until the day it's due, return it, then get another book. Because of that plan, that's how I was able to get the opportunity to finish Black Lagoon yesterday. So I guess what I'll do now is finish the book that I'm currently on, then wait until I have Handmaid's Tale, start reading it. Yeah, I'm not going to borrow any books until after, so I mean, if I finish the book I'm currently on and Handmaid's Tale isn't here, I'm just going to read something else. Whatever comic I'm currently reading on my iPad, I guess. But then after that, the problem is going to be that apparently the book is quite a hard read, despite the fact that it's only 37 years old. Once again, don't remember where I was because it's been a while. I'm probably playing it. Then my dad did. Then my dad got a shower. Anyway. Let me just try and think where it was. It was somebody about reading. Don't know how I'm gonna fit it into my schedule. I just called it a schedule because I couldn't find the right word. It's apparently a hard read. Yeah, screw it. I'll just go from there. I won't actually have anything else to say about that. Although, she gave us a homework for Friday, which is research context into both books. And one of the things was research your context, as in, you know, you're reading The Road, you think Corona, because The Road is a post-apocalyptic book. You're reading Handmaid's Tale, you think, well, you're supposed to think Roe v. Wade, but I won't, because I don't give a damn about Roe v. Wade. And actually, that's what she would say, we're living in the Handmaid's Tale. Like, no sense of irony. We're not living in the Handmaid's Tale, and I only seen the first episode of the show, but from what I remember, we are nowhere near the Handmaid's Tale. Like, so what, you can't... Actually, she said that women lost the right to an abortion. You don't have a right to an abortion, because you cannot have a right to a thing that someone else has to do. Because, like, that's why it's stupid for someone to say the right to healthcare, because if you have the right to healthcare, that means that the doctors who are taking care of you aren't getting paid, which means that it's slave labour, because they don't have a choice, since it's a right. That's why something like abortion is not a right, because someone else has to do it. And if we classify abortion as a right, then that person can't refuse. They have to do it, which makes it slave labour. And I can, like, if anyone wants to dispute me on that, I can send you a video. And the video might not seem relevant because it's about Attack on Titan, but it was a guy talking about, like, there was a line where Eren said that we are born free. And in that video, that's where he talks about why we don't have healthcare as a human right. Anyway. So, that's study for the rest of the day, except for the first free after lunch had media, which was more stuff that's making me not look forward to the rest of the year. So we have coursework in media this year. We have to... First off, we're researching Paramount. We were given 2 homeworks today from media. One to do tomorrow, where we have to do some questions on a Beyonce poster, because we're not done with Beyonce yet. I don't know why I'm pronouncing Beyonce so weird today. Whatever. And then that's not the coursework, that's just regular homework. The bit of the coursework due tomorrow, we have to do some research into Paramount. Because we're going to be doing... We'll have to, like, sort of make our own film, or at least an idea for a film. And then make a teaser poster, a DVD cover, and a website for the film. I am not looking forward to this at all. He really says, oh, it's getting easier and easier every year. Well, I don't have any ideas. He actually said to me, oh, you can combine your moving image film and your and this into one. Not really, considering I don't have an idea for moving image. I haven't even had moving image this year yet. Like, as I said a couple of days ago, the idea for the film last year came easily because all I did was we learned about Hitchcock's bomb theory, and I figured, how can I make that into a plot? Like, what's the simplest plot I can get out of that? If that makes sense. And that was what I did. But for this year, I don't have any ideas right now, and I don't think I will for a while, if ever. So, yeah, that's it. This is a review I was supposed to do yesterday, because I watched the first episode yesterday. Keep in mind that this was yesterday that I watched this, because this actually ties into today's school segment with something I forgot to mention. So, Dickinson, universally positive ratings, Apple TV Plus original series. Haley Steinfeld, Jane Krakowski, Finn Jones. Who the hell names a girl Gus? I didn't know that was Wiz Khalifa playing deaf, because I just don't know Wiz Khalifa's face. I only know him from the Fast and Furious song. Timothy Simmons, Nick Kroll, Robert Bracado, Jason Mantzoukas. It's good. The reason why, if you know who Emily Dickinson is, then it's going to be obvious. But the reason why I was saying this ties in school is because the poetry we're doing this year is all Emily Dickinson. So I am like a little bit excited for it. Although I do have a feeling that it's going to be a bunch of crap, especially since I'm not a fan of poetry. The sweater has a 14 past 8 p.m. So, Liz Truss is going to be the next Prime Minister, and maybe she already is by now. I don't know. I don't have any feelings on it right now, because I don't know any of the policies. I'm just glad it's not Rishi Sunak. Although, I was looking at a video about her, and I don't know if this is something that she's consciously done, but her entire cabinet has no white men. Like the photo I'm looking at, there's 2 black guys and 1 black girl and 1 white woman, and I assume the white woman is Liz herself. Black Mirror. What the hell? In the midst of the cost of living crisis, this morning are... Oh, wait, what? Wait, so the way that this is worded makes it sound like that, that ITV are going to pay for this man's energy bills. This man's tweet makes it sound like that, this man has actually lost money. I don't understand. Actually, I'm going to get copyrighted, so I'm going to watch the video myself. Okay, yeah, fair enough that, competition, prize, will pay your energy bills. Okay, I get that. I understand now. Thank you, Scott Bryan, whoever the hell you are. Goodbye, Bojo. Yay, he's gone. Oh, it's not Bojo, actually. It's football player. I don't know. Baseball, I think that is. Hey, Bojo. Good riddance, Bojo. I hate Bojo so much. Liz Truss is the best Prime Minister ever. Just... I mean, that's a K and not a C, so I'm going to assume that it means dumb. So immediately recalling, let's choose dumb. Yeah, exactly. Boris Johnson is the worst prime minister, not even gonna say of my life, ever. But actually, no, not the worst prime minister ever. The worst prime minister so far, because I guarantee you Liz will be worse. Because David Cameron was also terrible. And once he was gone and Theresa May came in, everyone was like, oh, thank God it's going to be better. And then Theresa May was a terrible prime minister. And then she was gone. And it was like, oh, uh, it'll be better now because we've got Boris. And yeah, he was good for about a year. But once Corona hit, he just turned into a complete dictator. Sorry, exaggerations again, but it's not an exaggeration to say that he committed almost 70 million human rights violations, as I keep mentioning. Just point is, the people who are waving goodbye to Boris Johnson with crab-eating grins on their faces don't, because Liz will be worse. And people are going to say, oh, you're only saying that because she's a woman. I'm not saying it because she's a woman. Like, I thought that Theresa May would have been great because all I heard was bad stuff about David Cameron. I don't actually know any of his policies, but, you know, Theresa May will be good because at least Cameron's gone, but she ended up being terrible as well. Right, before I actually click on this, it's going to be right wingers saying he's crap because he's far left, and it's going to be left wingers saying he's crap because he's far right. Like, Jonathan Pye is probably the most hated man who isn't in number 10 in Britain. Because like he has like two, like he considers himself a leftist, but there's really only two things that I would consider left. The one, he supported Hillary Clinton in the 2016 election, and two, he voted Remain. Everything else he done was more right wing, like supporting Marcus during his trial. Oh my god, someone actually thanking Jonathan Pye on Twitter. I'm surprised. Now, is this person's name Sue? We're talking about Sue. Oh no, I thought it was suing Ellen DeGeneres because she apparently was a massive prick on the set of her show. So I thought that someone would have been suing her for something. I don't know. Okay, as far as I know, this is the exact same clip that I've already seen. We are about 6 months away from having contestants mud wrestling to win a better place on NHS waiting lists. Yep. Now they're just openly censoring legitimate bad reviews of their tawdry crap, exploiting self-generated hysteria over trolls to cover up the fact that people are sick of this nonsense. Just great. Just, yeah, sure, block negative reviews. Because constructive criticism is an evil thing, apparently. Czech Republic. People have had enough. Huge protests against energy prices in Prague yesterday. The liberal world order has been so dominant for so long, they can't imagine a scenario where there are consequences for the decisions they make. That's why they outsourced energy production to adversarial nations and then fought a proxy war of those providers over a client state. This actually, I'm actually looking at this on my tablet right now because of Paul's video about this. Can you imagine Nigeria celebrating no black man in major government office? Police in the UK are preparing for a widespread breakdown in public order caused by the cost of living crisis if the PM Liz Truss doesn't authorise a big enough government handout. I really hope that what Liz does is, instead of Bojo's, you will be cold, so the Ukrainians can keep fighting their war that I prevented from ending. Like, I really hope that she says, ignore what Bojo said because we're going to stop donating money to Ukraine. While generally desperate people will steal food, there will also be hordes of underclass federal urban youth who use it all as an excuse to loot Air Jordans from Foot Locker. Just like in 2011, the media will act as apologists for their criminal behaviours, calling it a protest. Yeah, we actually learned about the 2011 riots in film studies in year 11 because we were doing Attack the Block, and apparently Attack the Block sort of predicted it because it came out a couple months before the protests / riots started. And like the only thing I remember was that David Cameron said that if you're old enough to do the crime, you're old enough to do the time. You know, blame it on teenagers. But I mean, if it was teenagers, then yeah, it was teenagers. And if not, then yeah, David Cameron is a prick. But I don't know, because I haven't done the research. I was saying some. Oh yeah, I finished what I was talking about. Because my brother came out once again and put his phone on charge or something, I don't know. The Times newspaper in the UK has published an article noting how no white men will hold major office in the new government said to be led by Liz Truss. A PR firm severed ties with country music singer Jason Aldean after his wife decried the genital mutilation of children. I think my dad listens to Jason Aldean. Anyway, MSNBC declares all Republicans evil and a threat to democracy. Pundit says we are at war. That's what Biden said. Speaking of Biden, he doubled down on his battle for the soul of the nation speech from hell last week, tweeting on Sunday that MAGA proposals are a threat to the very soul of this country. I don't think I talked about this, but the day after he gave his Hitler speech, which I'm going to call it, someone asked him if he believes that Republicans are terrorists or just evil in general. And he said, no, I don't think any Republicans are evil. New York Post noted that Biden spent a whopping 40% of his time as president on vacation. So in the UK, the price of food is up 10.5%, potatoes up 18%, bananas up 12%, cabbage up 10%, tomatoes up 15%, carrots up 16%, energy bills up 80%. But in Russia, the price of food down 11.3%, potatoes down 28%, bananas down 14%, cabbage down 33%, tomatoes down 14%, carrots down 13%, and energy bills are up 10%. So, what this means is that this rebel against Russia crap has actually made Russia, they're doing better than us. After Russia invaded Ukraine in February, Bojo thought that sanctions would hobble the Russian economy. Instead, the UK economy has been hobbled. Ukraine's ambassador to Australia calls for removal of offensive mural of Russian and Ukrainian soldiers. Like, it's hard to see because it's so blurry. And because, yeah, it's Paul that screenshotted it. Yeah, wait. Sorry, I keep on thinking I see a TikTok sign in the, like a logo in the corner. But that looks like a Russian and Ukrainian hugging. So it's a call for peace. Kind of seems like Ukraine's ambassador to Australia wants the war to go on. Peace is offensive now. UK's new Prime Minister is essentially preparing to authorise a massive taxpayer-funded handout to ensure Britain's underclass don't go on criminal looting sprees, all caused by our government's desperation to prolong a war 1,500 miles away. Why swarms of cyborg cockroaches are being created in labs. Ah, sweet! Man-made horrors beyond my comprehension. Scientists have fed a Madagascaran species with tiny leg control electrodes connected to backpacks containing ultra-thin solar panels. What could possibly go wrong? 4 months. First major revolt against the current Finn crisis, a gigantic protest in Prague demanding neutrality on Ukraine and an end to weapons supplies. Please don't take me down for violence policy. I could be wrong, but that does look like blood next to the man there. Manchester police have released video footage of a Sikh priest being brutally attacked and left for dead on the street and are asking for the public to help identify the attacker. They blurred out the attacker's appearance. Surefire way to catch a criminal fast. Hide his appearance. Wait, what? If you're gonna blur him out, what the hell is the point in releasing the video in the first place? Or hold on, wait, I think I know the answer. Because they want it to seem like they're actually doing their job instead of attending gay pride parades and doing the Macarena. I'm not kidding, that's what they've been doing instead of catching criminals. Oh god. R/Doge lore. Last substitute has arrived. Ah, crap, we're out of the loop. No sex for tonight, I guess. Don't worry, I've got this covered, Taco Bell. For those who don't know, there's a Stone Toss comic that is basically exactly the same. Does no one get this is a Stone Toss joke but less homophobic? I mean, the original comic was homophobic. The terrible Stone Toss comic has arrived. Yeah, so it was 2 guys about to have sex, but one of them says, we're out of lube, and the other guy says, I have diarrhea. Yeah, actually, here it is. Oh, God. It means a lot, honestly. I thought I was going to have this debt for the rest of my life, but now I can pay the remainder of my debt this year and begin to save for a house and start a family. Between the student loan interest pause, me paying 1k a month for the past 29 months, and your forgiveness, I was able to pay it off a decade early. Thanks to I honestly think this is the first time a politician did something for me that actually made a difference. This young man texted and sharing that my administration's student loan debt relief plan may allow him to pay off his student loan debt relief plan may allow him to pay off his debt a decade early. He'll be able to save for a home and start a family. Oh, look, Joe Biden just gets random texts from people. Nobody actually believes this crap, right? Text me at number to share your story. Here are the people responding. Mr. Biden, I'm a conservative Republican, but it's time for me to admit that you are one of the greatest presidents we've ever had. You're leading us to a shining city on a hill, and I couldn't be prouder to have you as our commander in chief. From 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's actually the same person twice. I'm not counting all this. This is the exact same tweet over and over again, but by different accounts, and actually some accounts are actually posting it twice. So, it's bots. The bot farm's running at top speed today. I saw many of the same comments myself. Take a look at the main thread and you will too. Beta's peeps are doing the same scan in Texas, right? Texas, but this is actually way more pronounced. Jesus, take the wheel. Did you see all the bot replies? Did you see these bot replies? That's the same thing. If you want to look at this, go for bot hunting. Number 9. Don't go in there. That's a bad place full of racists and bigots. Come back to the good side. The good side kicked me out for telling the truth. Just obey and they'll let you back in. Remembering that one time where a villain from the Powerpuff Girls was literally just an annoying feminist, unthinkable today. The message of the episode was still unambiguously feminist. However, you can't even find the modest critique the episode had anywhere else in the mass media today.